right, y'all. It's a rainy day, and I'm here for my facial. I got here a little early. I'm gonna go pee and wash my hands, and I will introduce you to Josette as soon as I get in. Okay, here we are. Josette is just taking a moment to breathe with me so she can set an intention for the session. We're going to do a nice aroma spray, followed by a gentle cleansing with a cleansing oil. I love when an esthetician helps me connect to my breath, and she does a great job of deeply cleansing my skin and getting to know the areas that I am holding the most amount of tension. And even just through a brief conversation that you can see us having in this high-speed massage sequence, we're just talking about how I've been feeling, and now you can see it in real time. This is not me slowing down her processes at all. This is how intentional her touch is. It just melts right into her hands, your face does. And I was immediately put into a safe, calming, lovely space. And I'm just so grateful that she is taking the time to nurture me on this rainy Friday. During this facial, it's really important to connect to the areas that we have a lot of tension, and we have to evaluate whether or not we are experiencing emotional distress or physical distress and see how that manifests itself in the body. In a lot of areas we can store that would be the shoulders, the back of the neck, the décolleté, and it's important for us to kind of breathe and wiggle our tensions out so we can get the majority of the benefits of this facial sculpting practice. So she's doing an extra little cleanse for me, and we're going to get started with the facial massage soon. Essentially, this sequence really wakes up the lymph, so it's important to be able to prep with lots of water intake, and the rest of the day just needs to be dedicated to self-care and nurturing. So she's pulsing at some major lymph drainage points just to kind of wake them up, including underneath the jaw where there's so much lymph fluid that can pool and cause a lot of tension for most people as it's having difficulty draining out. That's why a lot of us tend to have a little bit more of a rounded, less sleek jawline. And now she's pumping up my heart chakra, opening up the chest, making sure that I am open and ready for this loving light and care that she is going to be offering me, and then finishing with a nice back of the neck, just adjustment on the spine without physically adjusting me, but just connecting to all of that, as we tend to get that tech neck, and we are often, especially as an esthetician, I'm looking down a lot, and she's just getting me into my entire neck again. So when she does the massage, I can feel really supported, and that there's an area for it all to drain through. And as you can see, it looks like she's really pulling me up, but she's really just being quite gentle. Then we apply a little mist and some massage oil, and we open up the décolleté. So this is the same treatment that I do in my facial sculpting. We did the same training together. This is a different viewpoint, and this is real-time speed. And this is to just elongate the neck and give you a nice bit of support. I really appreciated Josette's take on this facial. It's different than what I do. It's different than what I have sort of created from the same training, which makes me really appreciate working with other estheticians and receiving care too, because it creates inspiration for me. And so the point of this facial is to really just open up those areas of tension and see how we can release what could be sort of coiled up and holding a lot of physical space or emotional space, and how do we clear that up so we can get the most optimal flow and vibrancy of the skin. And I love this move where you just sort of release a lot of that chin and jaw tension. And most people have a really difficult time receiving this part. It takes several passes for people to feel comfortable with that movement. But yeah, and Josette does a great job of connecting me with the fact that, these areas are tight because they're working for me, like around my lips right here, around my mouth. I'm constantly talking, I'm constantly breathing, I'm constantly chewing, swallowing, whatever it is. And just to give this area of my body a break and allow it to release is really quite the treat. And right here is where all the crunchy magic stuff kind of flows through. So you can see I'm kind of deepening my breath here, just really releasing a lot of that tension. And the jaw is such a strong muscle. It's really important for us to have honor for it, but also to not forget about it when we are doing facial treatments and even our self-care, home care with our skincare rituals. Now she's lifting up my cheekbones, which has beautiful effleurage, gentle pressure here that still gave me this great sculpting effect. And now we're going into the crow's feet, and then slowly we're going to move up to the forehead, which this just felt like the most stimulating. I use my brain a lot. I use my frontal cortex. I'm always in my third eye. So this is an area that gets a lot of activation, and to just be able to go in there and methodically massage out those muscles that are constantly tensed up felt really, really soothing. And you don't realize how tense you are until someone addresses these tiny little muscles and the bone structure and how it's getting impacted by certain muscles atrophying, or even just, and I remember this session too, when she got in here, as you can see, my skin is causing a little bit of erythema because I'm releasing so much. It's as though the second round, as she moves her way down, I finally am releasing what she was trying to kind of break through on the first pass, moving upwards towards my face. And when you bring all of these movements back down, which you're seeing her do, you're just kind of getting that last bit of crunchy built up of fluids that you weren't able to achieve and release prior. So it's a great, great treatment, and it's different for everyone. I find that no matter what you're experiencing, you will notice a big difference within this treatment, even just after one session. But if you can do it for 6 to 10 sessions on a weekly basis, you can actually physically change the appearance and the structure of your face. It's a non-invasive, non-medical facelift, and it's a bold claim, but it actually works so beautifully to massage our way to vibrant, healthy, youthful skin, as opposed to pressuring the skin to perform a certain way that it doesn't want to. We're just asking different parts of our face and of our bodies and of our emotional space to release. And I felt really honored throughout this entire session. So she's just moving along, getting the rest of my tension in my neck out. And as you can see too, like my skin is showing a lot of beautiful vibrancy. So now we are doing the inner mouth, the intraoral massage, which is so incredible. You really have to get it done in order to see the benefits from this, but to be able to have access to massage from the inside of the mouth out, it helps us anchor that we could really do some sculpting here. And the amount that we withhold around our mouth, but especially in our upper lip, can be really, really intense to detoxify. But the result is these beautiful, plump, like practically, we could fool a plastic surgeon into thinking we have filler lips, and it's really incredible. So she spends a fair amount of time on here, and I always notice when I'm talking that there are certain parts of my mouth that are being overused and some other ones that aren't. And I felt like after she did this part, I really was able to kind of move my whole mouth in different ways. And now it just gives me the knowledge to be able to exercise different muscles, and I felt like we released so much here. And it's important to emphasize the sanitation. Like, she puts gloves on and then she re-gloves for the second half of the face because we don't want to put outside fingers in. This is really, really great for the jawline. As you can see, she's really just bringing everything out and making sure that it goes through the lymphatic passageways. So if there's any built up tension that we're releasing, it's going to be able to be detoxified through the lymph. And now we're doing the Kanza wand, which was such a beautiful way to finish this treatment. It was so cooling. I felt so supported. And I am just so lucky to have this facial. Thank you so much. That was incredible. Thank you so much.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I love having you so much. You really bring so much energy. It's fun to see you.
Oh my gosh. Okay, what are some of your like post-care tips, especially after the facial sculpting?
So the facial sculpting kicks up a lot of heat. So I feel like it really triggers a detoxing process in the body. Certainly do your best to drink water and rest. Take it easy. I wouldn't do anything that is going to put you in a lot of heat. So sauna, jacuzzi. And then I try to tell people as much as they can to stay away from wine or alcohol at night, because we've just kind of unleashed a bunch of stored emotions, energy, and toxins. And so we do want to let the body be able to process that before giving it more to handle. So sometimes when you add more to that load, we'll tend to kind of blow up a little bit. So we want everything going down. It's like I turn the cool water on your body, and then everything's gonna go draining.
Yes. Oh my God, I love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yay, yay. Look how good I look.